What up, party people? Welcome to Garage Sale FC. I'm your host, Jesse. Today we got Robbie. Robbie, say hi.
Hi.
And we got Randy. Randy, you say hello.
Hello.
I can make them do what I want, people.
Shut up.
Um,
But
it's the power of
USA,
the
USA.
USA. It's the power of being the host. But yeah, we're just chiming in today, talk a little bit about World Cup, what we watched so far. The U.S. looked so good yesterday. It's so
Oh,
crazy because like a year ago, they
Not
they
even a year
looked
ago.
Yeah,
not
not
even a year
even
ago. They
in
didn't even look
preparation
as
for
good.
this tournament.
Yeah,
We
when did we
were
play Switzerland last? Was that like August? I guess I could look
September,
that up.
September, November. I think that was the
Um,
last camp. We had two camps or three camps before the World Cup, or within the last year, I think. We had those warm up games. We had the Switzerland, Japan,
it was June 10th. It was basically a
uh,
year ago.
pretty much, yeah,
South
almost.
Korea.
Wait,
Who did we play? I get all the games mixed up, but we had some games in like November, didn't we?
we did.
Was that Uruguay? That was Uruguay.
We did play Uruguay. I'm pretty sure. I feel like Panama was in that span too. I'm gonna look this up just so that I can confirm whether or not I'm really talking out my butt on this. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, they look so good. I've seen some interesting opinions on um, like this being like a really good look at like, oh, Podge's game works. Like, just took a little while to get there.
Yeah, I mean, you've had these players available for the first time too, and not all of these players have been in all the same camps. So that's interesting. The first thing that I noticed, which was turned out to be like brilliant, was in his lineup was going with the back four, which I think was turning into a back three
Hmm.
a
Yeah,
lot anyway. But by putting Dest up front, like or at
Right.
least starting him up front, him and Pulisic on either side were
Oh,
causing so many problems for
Pulisic
them.
was just having a great game.
Oh yeah,
It was such a treat to watch him, and he was having a good time. You could see it on his face, and in the celebration after the goal. I mean, it was just like such a
the own
weight
goal.
off of his shoulder. I mean,
yeah,
nonetheless, I mean, first goal's in the back of the net, guys. Like,
That's
let's get it
true.
going. Like, it was great to see. But
Yeah,
hey, on
dude.
uh,
goal, I'll take it.
yeah.
Okay, it
Uh,
was caused by our chaos. It was
Yep.
all the movement we were doing. It wasn't like it just came out of nowhere. We were
Right.
putting so much pressure on them.
It
it
Dude,
was
the whole
nice.
was.
thing like worked so well. He got the lineup so right. And I'm so happy because I was wondering after we talked about the Uruguay game when we had Alex Freeman, son of Antonio Freeman, former Green Bay Packer. When we put him in that back three and he was more of a fullback or at least like acting maybe like a wing back or whatever he was doing when we were playing Uruguay, worked so well. I was like, how do we work this in? But I was like, oh, they're gonna probably put Dest out there though. And then moving Dest up and then having Freeman use athleticism, which I mean, that covered so much ground. Then you had
Yeah.
Chris Richards' ability to. By the way, Chris Richards set a record for the World Cup, most completions. He was perfect. He was 83 of 83. That's a World Cup record.
Wow,
Wow.
Yeah,
that's wild.
yeah, dude. Chris Richards was everywhere. He was cleaning up so
Yeah.
much. He was sweeping up. It's
By the way,
I'm just changing so
in that,
much.
no, I mean
Like
it's fine because it goes into like
it's
what I wanted to
exciting.
mention was just our play out at the back looks so good.
And
Like
Yeah,
in the
it,
past, you don't see the U.S. do that. You see them
no.
play long ball,
Yep.
try to maintain possession in the midfield and then attack off that. But like
How much do you
they're
think that was because of the team that we were playing, though? I mean, granted,
Paraguay.
Paraguay, what, they've beat Argentina recently.
Yeah,
Who else did they beat?
they're not like world beaters, but they're not like a bad team. We when we played them earlier, didn't we? I don't remember us like blowing them out.
it
Yeah, I
was
don't
Did we?
remember
2-1
us
the
blowing
last
them
time we
out.
played them, and
But
that
like,
was
Yeah. Yeah,
that was
we almost had
in
to fight.
November.
Remember?
hmm
Yeah,
Wasn't that the last time they almost fought?
yeah. It was only November though, so
Yeah.
like between then and now, like that was
I think
incredible.
they did fight, or like a fight.
a
It was a
scuffle.
scuffle, a little
Yeah.
scuffle on the sideline.
But I mean, it
But
was it was such a treat yesterday to watch, and just good football from the U.S. and just it was tickling the back of the net, and just everybody looking like having a good time. It
yeah,
was, and the one goal that Paraguay got, there was nothing that Freeze could have done. There was a good play by them. We dropped, unfortunately, didn't cover correctly, but I mean, nonetheless, it was still a great game.
Yeah,
he could have saved it, Randy.
I
He could
feel
have
like
done more.
I feel like the only note that I have is we were in front of goal maybe 3 times where we tried doing too much.
Yeah,
Where I felt like just take the shot. But aside from that, I mean, we were up at that point 3-0, so like I get it. You're like not like crazy pressure to score that goal, so maybe you're looking for something that's a little cleaner, and that was what they were thinking. But uh, I feel like that game could have been much worse for Paraguay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think like one of the big things, and this is, I was thinking about this during the game because I'm like, the whole buildup was Johnny Cardoso is going to start in that midfield, and I was like thinking like, who are you taking out? Because to me, Tyler Adams is such a like engine for that midfield, and he proved that he was protecting that back line so well. Like him, and it was allowing McKinney to go forward, which was allowing. I thought Tillman played well, but I think Tillman started off a little slow. I think he grew more into the game than the other midfielders, but I was super impressed with everybody's movement. But McKinney was flying, dude. But it was because Tyler Adams was back there like sweeping everything up. So I'm like, where was Johnny Cardoso going to play in this? That's why I was like legitimate. Like I was like, because this seems like to be the ideal lineup. Because I know you could argue that Tillman pushed his. Was that the Gold Cup where he basically pushed himself into that lineup? Malik Tillman.
Maybe.
I think it might have been, or it was in that camp where we had that weird tension with the European players and former players, but yeah, they played so well. And then one thing though we have to say, I mean, because there's still a mystery on what exactly happened, what type of injury it is, or even how significant it is. It's a Christian Pulisic
Yeah.
subbed off at half. Which, by the way, I need to do a quick tangent because it was on the commentary, and I was like, I just think that that's totally wrong. Where they're like, Greg Berhalter, Sebastian Berhalter came on to replace him, right? And in the commentary, they were like, "Oh, he's in the squad because he could take set pieces." When he was taking a set piece, they're like, "That's why he's here for the depth of set." I'm like, "No, dude, I disagree. That's why they brought him on first." I'm like, I don't remember what game it was. I think it might have been the Uruguay game where they started him in the middle of the park, right? And they normally would probably put him out wide, but they started him in the middle of the park. He played so well in that middle of the park, and you can see his versatility, like where you can basically plug him in, like, oh, we need to make a switch at right back. You can put him at the right back. You can put him on
Hmm.
the left back, the left back. You can be in the middle, he can be in the middle. He's just so versatile, and as he's on the comms, he can also put in a pretty sweet set piece.
Yeah.
But I was super impressed with like so many people.
Yeah.
The subs were awesome. The
Yeah.
starting lineup worked out so well. Balogun was so good. Oh
So
my
good.
Yeah.
god,
Big ups to
so good. I've
Balogun.
been waiting for that. That second finish was so calm, dude. You want to talk about like the
So
South Korea
good.
finish? It was not, maybe the South Korean one had a little bit more like oomph with that touch, right? Because he sat the keeper and the defender. But I mean, like Balkan had to think about the defender in front of him and the keeper to come, to run a little bit to get a little bit of space before he put that in the top corner. I mean,
That was
that was a
an
10 out of 10
impressive
goal.
shot.
Like,
Yeah. That was a worldie.
I don't think any U.S. players ever scored 2 goals in a game before in a World Cup.
And I
So
think this
that is
match
the
was the
third.
most we've ever scored in a FIFA match ever.
No, not in a FIFA match, but in a World Cup for
Or World
sure.
Cup, excuse me, sorry. But yeah, World Cup.
Yeah. And I remember I was talking to my parents at halftime, and I was like, and the one giant, or not one, but one of the big question marks that you said he couldn't do anything with it. I was like, was Matt Freeze? He hasn't been tested yet in the first half,
Yeah.
and basically the only time he got tested was the goal.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was a good shot. It was I mean, he was a lot of legs in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have saved it, but he also, that's like asking a lot. It wasn't like an easy shot. But either way, I still think that's a question mark because he really wasn't tested too much. But I was super impressed. Chris Richards almost scored himself a goal twice, actually. Was so good in the back line. I was worried about that injury.
Yeah.
Tim Ream looked awesome.
Yeah. That Chris Richards header was just a little bit more to the left. That keeper was not getting that ball.
Yeah. I thought Anthony Robinson played really well
Anthony
on
Robinson
the
played
left.
really well. By the way, he kept doing that same move where he looks like he's gonna fake a cutback and then he twists and pushes forward. And that defender was it no, it wasn't well, that whole right side of Paraguay bit almost every time. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
that move is
Was that
killing him.
Almiron's side? I think that might have been Almiron. Almiron, dude, they were all out of sorts going from outside in. Paraguay, that's why they're getting so frustrated. They could do nothing.
Yeah.
They just want that game to be over. They could do nothing. I'm telling you, it was Dest moving up front and Freeman out there. And also having the ability, as again, shout out to Berhalter, super versatile coming on. Like it was a great performance. I mean, that might be
All
the best
around.
performance. Some people are like, that's the most impressive, but I'm like, I would say, even though we're familiar with that team beating Mexico in 2002 to get to the quarterfinals, I know it's not as pretty as what we did or winning the group is not as pretty as what today. Today we look like in legitimate, just like control of that game.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah.
problems. Like it didn't look like we were ever not in control of that game. Well,
No.
maybe probably split second we let that goal in the second
Yeah,
half,
Yeah, I
but
but
was gonna
like
say.
that.
Well, the start of the second half looked like Paraguay might have been gaining a little bit of traction in their play,
It
but
was also Pulisic came off that took away
right.
that.
But I'm saying like they had maybe 10 minutes, and then it felt like from there on,
they were able to switch the
minus
gear.
the
Yeah,
minus like a couple of attacking opportunities, the one where they scored, that was pretty much all in their half.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dude, it was awesome. And winning your first game is so important. It puts
Oh
so
yeah.
much like good momentum your way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we have a really good shot now of winning that group. Well, it really depends on what happens tonight, which is really late game, by the way. Nine
I know.
o'clock
9
our
o'clock.
time. That's midnight East Coast time. I'm like, that's crazy, but it is a World Cup. People stay up and get up for all these games, so
Yeah.
whatever. But for the players, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty late for their
Yeah.
bodies.
The hours don't
That
necessarily have
is.
to make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trying to figure it out for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
but yeah. By the way, the other host, if you want to tangent over to the other host, I thought all the hosts and the one that looked the most nervous, or at least their play looked the most nervous, was Canada. They
Yep.
came out a little jittery
Yeah.
in BMO down in Toronto, or up in Toronto from where
Yeah.
we are.
And
Yeah.
But
I feel like in
Jonathan
every
David looked like he was like nervous might not be the right word, but like
first
I don't
game
know,
jitters.
there was a disconnect with that front. There was a
yeah.
total disconnect on that front. I don't
Yeah.
know.
They seem to well, I feel like they looked really good. It felt like everywhere except like within maybe 10 yards from goal. Um their game looked really good, but in front of goal on either side in that first half particularly, it felt like there was a little bit of like chaos. They were kept trying to do too much. They made those subs in the second half where their attack felt a lot more direct. And at that point, dude, it felt like a different game for Canada.
Yeah, dude, that game was about that Jesse Marks making those subs. He made
Yeah.
it at the right time, and he brought on the right players. But he might have to think about now Kyle Lowren starting. I thought he might start the first game,
Yeah.
but came on, scored immediately, and then kept causing problems when he came on. But I think some of that also to do with Ahmed coming on, the Norwich City dude.
Yeah.
He came on and was so direct. Schaffelberg, he played okay when he came on, but he wasn't like bad or anything. But
No.
Ahmed was pushing it.
Mhm.
Bosnia were killing it at the back though.
Yeah.
Like
They're
they made
very
some
physical,
incredible
very
saves.
disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They were very organized.
Yeah, that it could have been worse. I would argue that their defense was why can't. Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue. Their defense was why Canada struggled so hard in front of the box. That discipline, just
Some of it felt like Canada were waiting. There were a few times where they should have played. You even heard Owen Hargreaves was on the comms and for the U.S. for whoever's watching on Fox. But even I remember one time he was like, "Oh, you got to play him in there." I don't remember who it was, if it was Jonathan David or the other forward. His name is escaping me. But there were a few times where they were trying to bend their run, where it's just the space opened and they would not play the ball. It was like they didn't see him, or they were told like they were building up in a different way.
yeah,
Because there was a few moments where I'm like, "Oh, just play him in."
yeah.
Like,
Well, I think too, Canada should have looked to switch up their tactics a little bit earlier in terms of like they weren't getting a ton of pressure from outside the box. It felt like
Yeah.
everything they were trying to do was trying to play through the middle into the box. Like they didn't want to take a shot outside of like 10 yards. So like I feel like maybe you take a few more shots from outside the box, you make them come press. Just make them think you're going to take shots from outside the box where they have to come out and press you. Opens up a little bit more space, but I mean,
yeah.
first game
I mean,
jitters
overall,
probably.
it's their first World Cup points ever, I
Yeah.
believe. And to do it, I mean, I think that, I mean, it is what it is. They're playing BMO, but I think they had enough time to get BMO better than the bleachers. If you notice the tarp on the scaffolding, you could see through it when the camera hit it. But that still looks very sketchy to me. I think you had enough time to renovate that better, or there are other stadiums available in Canada that are big enough. But I don't know. It also is downtown, which is what they want.
Yeah.
They could not with downtown Toronto, but still, this I think even under the pressure, or maybe they were thrust forward by the pressure. I don't know. I thought the Canadians, while coming out a little jittery, I guess the best way to put it, they seem first game jitters, as I
Yeah.
guess you would say.
Yeah.
They were not very clinical. There was a few other games that were like that. I felt like South Korea, if we're just tangent real quick to that game, South Korea looked like they were playing under a lot of pressure, which, to be fair, South Koreans expect a lot of their national team. Uh, they are they look like they were playing under some pressure. Which I
Uh,
think now they got that win, maybe that'll open
Release
it
some
up
of
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't
I
realize they were
think, by
playing
the
under
way,
so much pressure.
oh yeah, they expect a lot of them. I think, well, at least I'm reading it as they're playing under a lot of pressure based on the way they were playing, and it
Yeah.
kept cutting. The coach looked so like tense. I
Yeah.
was just like, I think they're feeling it. I know Jurgen Klinsmann got fired because of him not taking it as seriously enough when they bowed. I think they bowed out in the semis or the finals. I don't remember in the Asian Cup of Nations. But that's why they fired him. They said that he wasn't taking it seriously enough, or that was one of the reasons.
And that's fair.
I believe,
Uh,
allegedly. I don't know
they
if that's
looked
true.
really good though. Their passing looked
Just throw things
incredible.
out.
It'll be fun to watch them go against Mexico because I thought Mexico also played really well on the ball. Mexico's passing looked really good. I feel like
I
that
did
bracket's.
miss. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I feel like that bracket's still going the way I anticipated it going of Mexico, South Korea. But the way South Korea played, I could be wrong. It could be. I feel like maybe South Korea could take it and
I
Mexico
think
goes
it's going to be
second.
a very interesting game between
Yeah.
Korea and Mexico.
Yeah. Like I said, they both look like they're going to be under some pressure. But I think, remember, I flip-flopped. I had Korea winning that group originally, but then I just decided that Mexico, which, by the way, they look like that really did help. Azteca's atmosphere in that
Oh,
opening
yeah.
game was
So incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
To be fair,
cool.
also, just to tangent quick to the U.S., not expecting that from the home crowd.
That
No.
was awesome last
No, I
night.
feel like we're historically a pretty quiet,
Yeah,
quiet
but I was
soccer.
like, was there a memo out? Do you think they did an announcement in the stadium? Because I'm like, I've never ever heard us
Yeah.
that
They're like,
together
hey guys, I don't know if you
ever.
know, we're gonna be on TV. If you guys could be a little louder.
Yeah, they were doing the Icelandic you. I
Yeah.
was like, hold on, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah. You know what's funny too, by the way? It felt like everyone in that stadium was wearing the Stripes kit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At times, you're like, "Are those seats empty?" You're like, "No, dude. Everyone's wearing the same colors, so it
they
just
had the
looks
screens too.
so." Yeah, man,
It
it would have been
was
so
pretty
cool to be
cool.
there.
As I was watching that, I was like, man. I mean, New York is the TV's on in the background because the Brazil game is about to come on. But well, MetLife is, or I guess it can't be called that because of FIFA said no. The New York, New Jersey Stadium, Meadowlands or whatever they decided to call it. Well, it is the Meadowlands, but I haven't seen the crowd yet. But when I was looking at the LA crowd, I was like, this would have been, and Azteca would have been an awesome finals venue.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh my God, that looked cool. Like, I know they want, it's in New York City. It's the city of America, if you will, but it's not really in New York City. So, I
well,
don't know.
when does the Australia Turkey they play? They're the
play-
nice game. Yeah,
Yeah, they're the one that's 9 our time.
yeah. I'm excited to see how that game plays out. Give us a good idea of like what our matchup against Australia may look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess when does Turkey play Paraguay? I guess I can look that up.
I'm curious to see how Turkey looks because we set the bar pretty high for that group, and I had Turkey as like a clear favorite in that group to me. So I want to see what they do.
Yeah, they play next
Um,
Friday. Turkey Paraguay. They're the 8 p.m. game.
I'm still curious. I want to know what that Pulisic thing was because that could change a lot. That could change everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has there been no announcements on that yet?
Not that
I
I've
believe.
seen.
I mean, I believe that you said it was like a slight kick. I think that's what Pulisic said. He felt like a kick,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, that's some kind of knock. I don't know what that is, but I don't remember if they said he was doubtful or whatever for the next game. But I mean, we do have. I mean, we don't have a like for like replacement for him,
Mm-mm.
but we do have some depth up in the attacking. I mean, bring Haji right on. He does some things. Pepe could have scored. He was doing too much when he came
Yeah.
on. And by the way, sometimes what I love about him is that he is really good in the link up play, and he's very unselfish. But there was that You
He
know
was
what play
one
I'm
of
talking
those.
about.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
was one of those moments where we're in front of goal, and
Yeah.
again, we're up 3
Just
nothing
take
at
it. Be
this point.
selfish. Just be
Be
selfish.
selfish. Like
Just be
we're up
selfish.
3.
Just do it.
We were up 3 nothing. Like if you miss, you miss. But like have a shot, dude.
Yeah.
It's a World Cup. Have a goal.
Weird stuff
Um,
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But I'm excited to see how the rest of the group plays out.
yeah,
I
overall very
think,
happy with the
That life
performance.
is
Yeah.
very full right now.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a good time. I think we're going to have an outstanding World Cup
yeah,
overall, and I think the U.S. could actually go pretty deep. I really do.
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
dude. New York Stadium as it's coming on the TV right now. Looks pretty cool. So
Well,
Yeah.
that's our cue to end it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. A lot more
We
soccer
didn't-
to play.
Did we miss a game? Did we miss a game?
We didn't. I guess we didn't talk about the game today. The Switzerland.
I missed most of it, but good for guitar.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
They defended really
snuck one
well.
back.
Yeah, they defended really well. Way to get it. What was it? The 93rd minute that
Yep.
they grabbed the equalizer.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
good for them, dude.
Lupategi, dude.
Yeah, a lot more pressure now on Switzerland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
All right.
Thanks for coming stopping by Garage Sale SC. You guys have been great. We'll chat with you next time. Peace.
Later.